Hello, welcome to the show. I'm Jacquelene Close-More, and you're on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV, and I'm coming to you live from my lounge room in Melbourne. Kind of excited about that. It's Good Friday here in Australia, and if you're in another part of the world and you're worried about the world ending tomorrow, don't worry. It's already tomorrow here in Melbourne, so there is still hope for all of us. Thank you very much to the lovely people of Pakenham and other parts of Melbourne that came down to the Pakenham Psychic and Wellbeing Expo to see me there on Sunday. Had a packed audience, which was really good, and socially distanced, so that was good too, and a full-on busy day, and I met some wonderful people, and thank you for the validations for the readings I've done for you, because literally in the audience they can reply and say anything, so so it's really good when, of course, you get people, oh my God, how'd you know? And I'm like, I don't know, what's my job? All right, so I've got a wonderful listener, viewer, and interactor on Facebook that also listens and watches to this show here on A1R, Lindy, who's written in, and she's asked a question. And so you can also write into me at Facebook on Jacquelene Close-More Live if you're trying to find me. And, of course, I come on here on A1R and answer you. So now Lindy is asking whether she's going to move interstate, whether she's doing that permanently or selling or renting the house, etc. What an interesting time, Lindy, the last couple of years for you, it feels like, because there's been a whole life shift, priority shift, energy shift, just everything's been moving around you, and just your whole way of thinking and being has really changed. And really, I would have started more so 2018, 2019, where, it's like having to reassess what's important to you and how you're expressing with others, and particularly how other people are taking what you're saying. Hasn't that been interesting? You're also very sensitive to energy, so you really pick up on people pretty well straight away, and there's kind of an interaction that happens quite quickly where you can get very drained by people very quickly, or you can get energized, usually by going out to nature, having quiet time, or being around people closer to you. You do really help people a lot, and they feel they can tell you anything. So literally that can sometimes be really inappropriate things, right when you're trying to do other stuff, or, I don't know, you've just met them and they're telling you about their trials with hysterectomy or something. So, it can be quite huge how much trust people put in you pretty quickly, and how sometimes you'll need to be far less accommodating of the same trust. It's like you have to be a little bit wary because you do get them all. So when we come to this whole question of moving, I think 2020 moved all of us in ways we weren't quite expecting. Certainly, I wrote about that in the magazine as a prediction ahead of that, but it has rocked the foundations for you and everyone else. And when we look at, this next couple of years, I actually see you in 2022 looking at moving in a very big way. I would see this almost like a trial run. It's like you're going to do a trial run. If you haven't done that already, you will be. And this is where, I would see you moving into state. It feels like renting something, and that may well involve renting out your place. While you're going, do I like it here? Do I like it a bit more there? How does this all feel? And in 2022, I really see it as you being quite serious about getting down to the real core of where you really want to be, and even like the aesthetics of that, how that feels, the atmosphere, this sort of thing, before you really get into the actual selling and then buying something else. And I do see you relocating. I'm really in a warmer, more humid environment, so it makes me wonder if I'm up around Queensland or northern New South Wales with this. But I do feel here that I've got a lot of beach, a lot of going by the water, and also, just that sort of sense of freedom. And it's like, yeah, more freedom now. And it's also getting a lot of things off your chest, a lot of, it's like a completion, like closing off a lot of old things here. So I do feel that this is a permanent move eventually, but it's like a reconnaissance move first. So yes, it does feel like a transition of trying something out before making sure you're really wanting to go there. And how to do all of that, I'm going to actually pull out the goddess cards. Like, why not today? There should be God cards too. We should need non-binary cards as well. Like have a good mix here. But here we go. Thank you everyone else as well for watching and listening. And just remember, you can tune in and write in and get something for yourself here. Okay, so there's a sense of nourishment there, but it's like you're doing a lot of working out what nourishes you and what works for you. So I've actually got the corn woman here in this. It's goddesses from around the world. So this is actually a corn woman. We talk about maize being a staple of Native American diets. So corn woman, it's really about that nourishment and looking after your own home fires, sort of keep them burning, keep your energy going. Um, so it's like it's really important for you to make sure that what you're doing with this move is nourishing you and making you feel that you've got your special space. It's not about anyone else anymore. It's not about what other people want. It's about what Lindy wants. And, the last card on this spread, so I pull out the first and the last card in the whole spread when I do this too. The first one, we've got this sort of sense of rising up and getting out of dodge in a way. I don't think that snake is at all attacking her. It's just like inviting her to sort of lift up further. And if you look, it's actually winding around and helping her lift higher. So it's like finding your ecstasy and sort of getting up and out and this sort of sense of freedom I was talking about before. Last card on the deck, like, where's this going to? Fun times. Good old Bast. The cat that looks like it's eaten the pigeon. It's a non-vegan cat, clearly. But, this is also an energy where, if you look at the Egyptian goddess Bast, the cat goddess, is all about that sense of protection, but also play, like the cat amongst pigeons and the cat that got the mouse and this sort of thing. It's like having everything where you're needing it to be. So, I actually do feel you get to have a lot of enjoyment. You get to have the people around you that you want. I see a lot of new friendships and associations around you. And actually, interestingly, new business networks of some kind. So there may be some kind of collaboration you're going to do here when you move that's actually really, really quite huge for your sense of fulfillment, enjoyment, and also your career opportunities or your sense of purpose, and certainly what you're going to be occupying your time with. But I'm just not seeing you being bored, lonely, and having too many cats. Sorry, Bast. Old connotation of that. What you most need besides housing at the moment. All right, here we go. Pull these one out. I've got the angel card spreads. Angel blessings, this one. An oldie, but a good one. So at the moment, yeah, it's about beautification. See, this year for you is going to be kind of really busy. There's going to be a lot of different things shifting all around the same time. You may actually find that you do the initial move this year, but next year it's like the real, okay, now I'm setting in where I'm going over the course of the whole of next year. Now, you've been through a massive journey, taking you through quite a few lessons and coming out into wisdom with them. And, there's a sense of peace that's now come into your life. But, the card that came out for, how to get where you want to go, it's like appreciating the beauty in things, it's like doing little things well, but also appreciating, what you've got and what you're able to make out of things. And actually also appreciating your efforts. You've done quite a lot here, particularly for other people. And sometimes it's sort of like, So it comes back to that thing of you having that freedom and doing stuff for yourself now instead of just what everyone else wants from you. So, I certainly hope that clarifies and makes sense for you. The other thing, I guess, is just to make sure that from here on out, you're not allowing yourself to, I guess, get too distracted by what other people are bringing to you or what judgments they're bringing to you or how they're perceiving things, and their mannerisms, their thoughts, their wisdoms that they've got that apply to them. If they don't apply to you, they don't apply to you. And it's really important for you to be most of all listening to yourself right now. It's like other people trying to put the finger in the pie and, tell you what it's all about. And it's sort of like, yeah, I don't know that this is really working for me. So, having to do a bit of that would be, really a good sort of approach here. But really, I feel like through the course of the last 2 years, big change, but this year also, it's like the way that you will dress, the way that you'll be perceiving others, the way they'll perceive you, the whole thing around image, which, people place different levels of importance on. But how you're doing that is actually changing over the course of this year too. And by the end of this year, it's like even sort of like the clothes you've worn in the past, and it's like, how it goes. and bringing in the new with that too. So I'm sort of seeing a lot of that. Not that it's necessarily very important in the world, but it's like there's even more freedom with how you're expressing yourself, who to, under what circumstances. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's more writing of what you think, writing down what you think and expressing that, and putting that into a whole new framework. So I actually see this as a really exciting time for you on a self-expression level, on a spiritual opening up level, and shutting down certain conversations you've just had quite enough of. And kudos to you for that. You go, girl. You get them. Or don't get them, as it might be preferred. So, I think really when we look at this next 10 years of yours, I actually see a lot of movement, flexibility. Certainly, if you're being concerned about your physical well-being and your physical activity levels, it's like that's picking up. As you lighten the load in your life, you have a lot more energy. And certainly I'm living proof of that. If you've seen me sort of dancing Latin around Melbourne in the last couple of years, outside of COVID, um, you know, compared to the energy levels I used to have. When you free up your life, and this goes for anyone watching and listening, when you free up your energy in your life and you get out of situations that maybe have been bogging you down, you start doing things more for you and work out what for you you're wanting to do rather than just for them, for them, for them, for them. You actually lighten up your load, your physique changes, how you appear changes. You can actually, age backwards, which some people have told me I've done. So I'd like to thank you, Lindy, for writing in. I hope that's helped you. I'll be back over on the live page on Jacquelene Closemore Live on Facebook. In the meantime, there's more shows on A1R and Moonstruck TV for the rest of this evening, afternoon and morning. Catch you next week. Lots of love. Bye.